Good morning, soapy friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am the Soap Chef here on this channel where we make all things with a rather good lather. How's everybody doing today? It's Friday. I just got back from vacation. It was 8 days worth of rest, relaxation, regrouping, refreshing, revitalizing, all the re's. I'm back. What's been going on since I've been gone? Anything new and exciting? No? How about anything controversial? You know, I was watching a little video last night on the tubes before I was going to bed. And it was about rats in the dark. You know how rats scurry around in the dark doing all kinds of BS, you know? They're like wreaking havoc everywhere and creating damage everywhere they go. You shine that spotlight on them and they freeze for a second, right? They're like, oh shit, we're caught. And then they start scurrying around and try to cover up their tracks because they don't want anybody seeing what they're doing. When that light is shined on them, they don't want anybody seeing what they're up to. I just found that interesting and thought I would share. No reason, really. Anyways, what does any of that have to do with today's video? Nothing. I'm going to be in bath bomb land, you guys, for a really long time, so I hope I'm not going to bore you guys to tears. Next Monday, however, we're going to be doing the September Inspired By, and I already have a creator in mind, and I've already let her know that I'm going to be featuring her. That's going to be next week. But today, we are going to be in bath bomb land. I'm going to show you guys a couple different things with the bath bombs, and then we're going to go ahead and do the frosting, because a lot of people are having some issues with frosting and the consistency and whether it gets hard enough to package or whatnot, or how to even pipe to begin with. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing a couple of demos with our own molds. Yes, that's right. We print our own molds, and we're going to continue to print our own molds because we can. I'm sorry, you guys, just had to. Come on over there with me to Creation Station. Let's get cooking. Okay, friends, we are over here at Creation Station. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to try to draw something and see if I can turn that into a file that I can use to print my molds. This is public use, public domain, fair use. You could find this picture literally everywhere. It's a bunny face with a heart nose and buck teeth and the whiskers coming out. Now, I've already purchased the file to create this mold, and I use this mold, but this is public domain. This is free for anybody to use. So you know what? I just thought to myself, let me see if I can try to recreate this by freehand drawing. Let's just take a whirl at that. It can't, how hard could this possibly be? Let's do a heart first. Now my drawing sucks. I am not good at drawing at all. What do you think, guys? My drawing sucks. I'm horrible at drawing, but it looks pretty good, right? It's not terrible for somebody who doesn't know how to draw. So this isn't bad. I don't know how to draw. I'm not a designer, but neither are any of the other suppliers that I know that are printing and selling 3D bath bomb molds. They all hire other designers. But I thought, well, what the hell? That's good enough. How about I go and put that over into my file converter and see if I can turn that into an STL file. Hold, please. Okay, I'm back. So we started off with this, which is fair use, public domain. You can find this file literally everywhere in the public domain. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's a very well-known shape. So we started off with that. And then me with my horrible drawing, I did that. You just saw me do it, right? Then I went over to my file converter, put it in there, converted it into a file that I can now print if I want to on my 3D printer. Boy, that was horrible, wasn't it? My gosh, that took so much time and effort and resources. That was excruciating. It was painful. No, it wasn't, you guys. Come on. My granddaughter, who's 10, could do that. All right, enough of that. I'm really just horsing around today just to prove a point. But anyways, while I was gone, I had ordered from Hearn Studios, and I have never purchased from them before. I got some of their vacuum form molds to do some bath bombs. So we're going to go ahead and unbox that real quick, take a look and see what I got. Then we're going to get busy doing some bath bombs. Let's see. We got a thank you card here. Very nice. This is my packing slip showing me everything that I got from them. I'm hoping these are going to be really good. Again, I have never purchased from them before. So let's see what we got here. What is this? Oh, this is, what is this? I think this is, oh, I know what I got. I got a bunch, see, I forget what I got. I got a bunch of princess molds. Again, my bath bombs outsell my soaps like 5-to-1, you guys. They're my best sellers. Anyway, so I think this is Rapunzel. You can't really see very good. I hope the details come out. You can't see very well on this side. But anyways, I think that's Rapunzel. That's Jasmine. What else? What is this? Oh, this is, I think this is Pocahontas. Is this Mulan? I want to say this is Mulan. Not altogether sure. Think so. Then we've got Buddy the Elf, because who doesn't need Buddy the Elf? Everybody. Oh, look at this. That is a cute little vampire dude, a little Dracula or vampire, whatever the hell you want to call him. There's that. I think this is Belle from Beauty and the Beast. This is Cinderella. This is Medusa with the snakes coming out of her hair. And, oh, this is Princess and the Frog. So I got a lot of princess molds because my little girls, customers really eat those up. So that's what I got from Hearn's Studio. We're going to try those out a whole nother time, not today. Give me just a second to get all set up here. We're going to be in bath bomb land. Hold, please.
A few moments later.
Okay, let's start off with talking about colorants just for a couple of seconds, because a lot of people have questions on what type of colorants are the best to use for bath bombs, and there isn't an answer for that, you guys. And do your own research, you know what I mean? Don't take anybody's word for anything, because everybody is going to tell you what their personal experience is, which is just what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to tell you what my personal experience is. Yours could be wildly different, and I'm sure mine is wildly different from what other people do. But we're going to talk about lakes, dyes, and micas, okay? I primarily use lakes in the majority of my bath bombs for a couple of different reasons. Number one, it's just really easy to incorporate it. You stick it right into your dried powders and you mix it in. No blooming necessary. The colors, in my opinion, are more vibrant, and they definitely do last longer when you're outside doing events. You know, the UV rays and the sun and all that other kind of stuff really diminishes those bright, beautiful colors in a dye when you're outside. The lakes stand up way better. Micas will not color your bath water. They will add a shimmer to it, but they will not color your bath water. Dyes will, and lakes will. But, you know, I mean, how do you choose, right? Let's just do a little test here. This is a dye. This is lake number 6. Which is orange. I'm going to be doing orange bath bombs today. So let's put a little bit in each one of these beakers. I've got a ½ ounce of water. Okay, so to be fair across the board, let's put in a little bit of lake, and we'll see what happens with that, if that mixes in or not. Let's put in the same amount, which you don't have to use the same amount in dyes. That's one of the advantages to using dyes. Really, really little bit. Less is more with dyes. It goes a real long way. So let's put that in our water there, and we'll see what happens with that, whether that mixes in or not. All right, so there's our lake, there's our dye. Let's get our mica. Put that in, see if that's gonna mix in or not. Okay, so right off the bat, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to lift it up in just a second so you can see more. But right off the bat, I can see that the dye is mixing in really well with the water. And that makes sense because dyes are water soluble. I don't even really need to mix this with any type of a tool. Just give it a little bit of a swirl and there you go. You've got your dye completely dispersed in that water, if water is what you're using for your binder. I do not. I use alcohol and a balm spray, which is 70% witch hazel and 30% rubbing alcohol. That is what I use as my binder. But you can see clearly that mixes in really well. How about our lake? Is it mixing in? No, there's lots of clumping going on down in there, right? So if I stir this around manually, just with my hand, give it a little bit of a shake. Is it mixing in? Well, it's kind of mixing in a little bit, but I can still see granules on the bottom. Okay, so put that there for side. How about the mica? What's that doing? That's just sitting up on the top of the water. It's not doing anything. Let's swirl that around a little bit. As we know, micas love oil. They don't really mesh well with water, and that's why you'll see a little bit of a shimmer going on, but it's not going to mix up very well. So what do we have to do? We have to add our polysorbate 80 so that this can blend in a little bit better. So we're just going to just a little bit. Now, let's give this a stir. Polysorbate 80 is an emulsifier as well. So this is our lake. Okay, so you can see after I have mixed it in with some polysorbate, it is really incorporating much, much better. Let's go ahead and mix in this mica and see what happens here with the polysorbate. Okay, so as you can see, that is mixing in much better too once you add your polysorbate. It's really just a matter of your own personal choice, whether you want to use a lake, a dye, or mica. I just would never use mica for a bath bomb. To paint on the bath bombs, that's another story. That's what you have to do, right? And again, primarily I use lakes. That's my preference. The only dyes that I will usually use for bath bombs are the blue and the green. Every other color, I use lakes. But there you go, you guys. So the choice is yours, whatever you feel comfortable with. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I do have several people who ask me about, I'm sorry, I keep walking away from the camera as I'm trying to clean up. I do have several people who ask me regularly about colorants and bath bombs and what I personally use and how much and this and that and the other thing. So, all right, let's get going, shall we? I'm going to put up my dust mask because I'm getting ready to turn on my hand mixer. Again, that's a personal preference as well, you guys. Mixing everything with your hands is perfectly fine. And if that's what you choose to do, go ahead and do it perfectly fine. No reason not to. My preference is just to use my hand mixer. So I will normally just incorporate this in with my, manually first before I turn on the motor. Just try to mix it in as best I can. Try to minimize as much as I can the powders flying up in the air, and so that's why I do this first. And then I'll start adding all my liquids. I always add my scent blend first. See, there you go, coughing. I'm gonna put my dust mask up. I always incorporate my scent blend first, which I'm doing orange because that's orange. And for the kiddo bombs, I always like to match the scent to the color. And then it's like a little game for the kids to try to guess what scent it smells like based on what the color is. And it makes them think a little bit, especially the really, really young ones, So what color, or what scent rather, do you think this orange bath bomb will smell like? I'm like, oh, probably orange, It's just a really fun thing to do. Anyway, in here, I've got my scent, my polysorbate, and my balm spray, okay? So we're gonna add that now. That's the first thing that I add as far as the liquid is concerned. And then the next step after I get this blended in, then I will go ahead and add my butters. I've tried to do it the other way around, and the bombs just don't come out the same. They just don't. I don't know why. I'm not a scientist. Okay, now that I've got my scent blend all mixed in, now I'm gonna add my cocoa butter and my shea butter. And for those of you that purchased the bath bomb molds from us, we do include our personal recipe for bath bombs with every order, and that is the recipe that I am using today. Okay, now that I have all of my liquids all mixed in, the very last thing we're going to do is add our citric acid. And also, questions that I get all the time are whether or not I grind my powders. I used to always grind my powders. And then, if I'm being completely honest, which you guys know that I am, I just got too lazy and I didn't feel like doing that anymore. So I started making my bath bombs without grinding any of my powders, and I really don't see any difference. So why give yourself an extra step of work, which would take me all day long to grind up all of my powders? Why do that if it's not necessary? Okay, now that I have everything mixed up, now we're gonna get in here with my hands and really get some good mixing going. So if there's any of the little white specks left, we're gonna be smushing, mashing, and getting rid of all of that. Okay, so just give a couple little presses on the bottom. Fill it up a little bit more. Now I'm gonna make a little divot with my finger, and I'm gonna add some contrasting color in embed powder. Right in the middle there. And since this is for Halloween, well, orange and green, why not? All right, then continue to fill. Give it a little bit of a shake. We're gonna build up that top just a little bit, because we've got this round cup that needs to be filled in, right? So build that up a little bit. If you wanna go ahead and clean off your edges just a little, that's fine too. Take your cup, place it on the top, and give some pushes. All right, now give some taps on the outside of this shell. I do that just to loosen up any powder that got in between my cups and my shell. It happens. All right, now, if you're having trouble getting that out, you can use your handy dandy little plunger, which we do sell up on soap-chef.com. Put that on the bottom, put your mold right on top, and just push down. Helps you to get that off. What I like to do now is give another little push, because you guys know I don't like the Saturn ring. And the only reason really why I don't like it is because for packaging reasons, it's just a nightmare for me to get my band on the round ball bath bombs with a huge Saturn ring. It's no bueno. All right, here we go, taps. Now remember, this is gonna be the bottom part that has the design on it, right? So let's just be gentle when we take that off. And there you guys can see the pupil and the iris. The design came out perfect. Of course, we're gonna paint that because you can't really see it right now by itself, so you do have to paint that, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that in my hand, turn it over, I'm gonna pull off that bottom part. But now what am I gonna do with this now that I have a round bath bomb? Where am I gonna put it? Well, we're gonna put it on our handy dandy little bath bomb drying tray for our round spheres. Boop. And also you can find this up on soap-chef.com. And there it is. There is our 2 1/4 inch round eyeball. It's a sphere with an eyeball for Halloween. Okay, so there's that one. We'll just leave that off to the side over there. Okay, next up, and this was actually a request from one of my subscribers and one of my customers. They wanted me to do the demo on the Frankenstein mold that we sell. Now this is just a plate without a rim. It doesn't have that lip on the bottom. So this is just going to sit right inside of the outside shell. You could push it up, it'll come all the way through. There's no lip holding that in place, which is perfectly fine. You don't need one. So you're just gonna put that plate right down on the bottom. And then we're just gonna fill a little bit like we usually do. Give it a little bit of a shake, and then we're gonna give some presses. Okay, fill it up a little bit more. Some more little shakes. Again, I'm going to be adding some contrast color in embed powder. Keep filling. Shake. If you want to go ahead and give a little poke with your pinky finger, on the 2 bolts that come out of the side of his head, because that may be a stress point for unmolding purposes. Go ahead and do that. Take your plunger, which is blank on both sides, so it doesn't matter which side you use to press down, they're exactly the same. Put it down on the top and then give your presses. All right, now be careful when you pick it up now, because remember, that does not have a lip on it. So you do have to be a little bit more careful with this one. Taps like we always do, you guys. Taps on the top and taps on the bottom. So now I'm going to push up with the plunger, okay? So you see the thicker part is the plunger, and then that is our bottom plate, right? So I'm turning that over. I'm pushing completely up with the plunger. Oopsie daisy. Sometimes that happens, which is okay. Now we got a little bit of mixture stuck in his eyeballs, but that's okay. We can paint over that. Let me grab one of my handy dandy little flip plates. Yes, we sell those too. Soap-chef.com. I know this sounds like a really big advertisement, but from what I've been told, you should be talking about your business in your videos. Anyhow, this came flying off of there, so I'm going to slide him back. Take your flip plate. Turn it on. If you don't have this, use cardboard. That's what I've been using for years and years and years, okay? Turn it over. Take that bottom plunger piece right off of there, and I'll turn it over again just so you guys can see the top part of the design. And there's Frankenstein. And again, like I did get a little bit of mixture stuck in his eyeballs there. It happens, but you can't even tell. You can't even tell at all. You're going to paint that anyhow. All right, so there's Frankenstein. Okay, we have 3 different types of pumpkins. We've got one that has lines all in it and a face. There's the scary Halloween pumpkin, okay? So there's that. We have one that's plain with no scary face and just the lines, in case you don't want a creepy, scary one. And then we also have an actual 3D one. So those are the 3 types of pumpkin molds that we have up on soap-chef.com right now. So let's put these aside. We'll do them one by one, okay? So again, this is another scenario where this is a bottom plate, but it does not have a lip on it, okay? So that's just going to go down on the bottom, and you're going to place your outer shell just right up on the top. Fill it a little bit on the bottom, give it a shake, and then give it your presses to ensure all those details come out. And sometimes it does get stuck to the plate. It just does. That's just the nature of it. Don't worry. Take your time. I usually fill about halfway. And I'll put my contrast color in. So, hold on. Let me make a little divot, though. Because I definitely want to make sure that my wet bath bomb mix surrounds the dry powder that I'm putting in here. If I don't do that, and this is my personal experience, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but everybody is going to tell you something different. When I do it, and I just lay the dry bath bomb powder on the top of my moist mix, it always separates, always. All right, take your plunger with your design. So it's going to have a design on the bottom and a design on the top. Take your plunger, turn it around, stick it on the top, and we're going to give it the presses. All right, taps around the outside shell. Top and bottom, we're going to give our taps. All right, we're going to push up with our plunger all the way up. Now we're going to take that top plate off, straight up and off. And there's the one side of our pumpkin with the creepy, scary face. Grab one of your flip plates or your cardboard, turn it over. We're gonna lift straight up and off. This also has a design on it, so just go slow. And there's our pumpkin. All right, let's go ahead and do our pumpkin that just has the lines, but it doesn't have the creepy, scary face. Same principle. The bottom plate does not have a lip on it. It just sits right inside of the shell. Put a little bit on the bottom, shake. Give it your presses. We want those lines to come out on the bottom. Fill it about halfway. Make your little divot in the middle so you can put your embed powder in there. All right, keep filling, shake, fill and shake. Try to even it out a little bit so you don't have a lopsided bath bomb. All right, take your top plunger, which has your lines also, turn it over and stick it on the top, and give your presses. Tap, tap, tap. All the way around the outside shell. Tap on the top plunger. I tap pretty hard, you guys. You'll see other people online go like this, and that's good enough. But I really want those designs to come out, you know? Turn it over and do the same thing on the bottom plate. All right, we're gonna push up and out with the plunger on the bottom. Just push all the way straight up and get rid of that shell. Now we're gonna take our bottom plate, up and off, straight up and off. And then we have our lines on our pumpkin. Grab your utensil, whatever that may be, whether it's your flip plates that you get from us or just use cardboard. Straight up and off with the plunger. And there is our pumpkin. Okay, let's do our 3D pumpkin now. I'm actually going to put this piece on the bottom because it has the stem hole, and I'm going to give my pushes on that to make sure that that comes out. So that's going to be our bottom cup. All right, fill a little bit, shake, push. And you're not smashing it down a lot, just a little bit. Fill it up about halfway. If you have little clumps like that, just break them up with your hands. Make your little divot. Get your contrasting color of embed powder, put that in the middle or on the sides, however you guys want to do it. I just put it right in the middle. That's just the easiest and quickest for me because I have to bang out a lot of bath bombs. Every time I'm in bath bomb land, it's an all day and all night project. I do a lot of them. All right, I built that up, as you guys can see, because we've got this whole big cup that we need to fill. So turn your cup over, stick it on the top, give some presses. Tap around the shell. Tap on the top. Turn it over, same thing. Okay, so this one, we're going to definitely need our plunger because a lot of vacuum suction gets created when you have a bigger mold, especially if it's 2 cups as opposed to a plate and a plunger. A lot of suction gets created, so you're gonna need your plunger for this one. Stick it on top of your plunger and just push straight down. There you go. Now I'm gonna give another push because you guys know I don't like that Saturn ring. All right. going to give it a couple of more taps. And maybe some on the sides as well. I can tell the difference by sound. When I know that the suction has been released, I can hear that. And you'll get better at it as you go along. The more you continue to make bath bombs, you'll get to know the sounds as well. So let's pull straight up and off with that bottom cup. And there's the bottom of the 3D pumpkin. Looks great. We're just going to put it in our hand, turn it upside down, and just pull this straight up and off for the top. And there's our little divot where the stem goes up on the top. And there's our beautiful 3D pumpkin. That's beautiful. Where am I going to put that though? Oh, I don't know. If only I had somewhere to put something that's round so it doesn't get a flat bottom. Oh, that's right. I do have something that's round to put them on. All right, we're going to put you right on here, buddy. There you go. All right, we got one more to do in today's video, and then I'm going to get moving on my own off camera. Like I said, I'm going to be in bath bomb land for quite a while, especially because we were just accepted into a really big holiday show at the end of the year, which we are very, very grateful for. But boy, we got to start stocking up now. Okay, next up is going to be our little ghost. Okay, so this one does have a lip on it. You can see there's a lip going all the way around. So we're going to put the lip on the bottom, and we're going to take our outer shell and stick that right up on the top. Now there's no reason really for us to give any pushes because there's no design on the bottom. I am going to make my little divot. I'll go ahead and put my contrasting color in embed powder right in the middle. You don't need a lot for this mold. This is a little bit of a smaller one. I want to say it's only like 2.5 inches, I think. All right, fill that up again some more. Shake, fill and shake, fill and shake. All right. Now we're going to take our plunger, which does have a design on it. It's got his little face. Turn that over, stick it on the top, and give our pushes. All right, tap. And the reason why we do the tapping around the outside shell or cylinder, whatever you want to call it, is because it absolutely does. You do get bath bomb mix that falls down in between your cups or plates or plungers. And so then you can have a hard time unmolding because it can get gritty and kind of stuck, and it's not going to slide as smooth. So that's why we bang on the outside to try to loosen up the grit. All right, let's push up and out with the bottom plunger. Straight up and off with that bottom plate. Remember, that does not have a design on it. Grab your flip plate or your cardboard, turn it over, straight up and off with your plunger. And there's our beautiful little ghost. Ain't he cute? All right, you guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Just a couple of the molds that I don't even know what we have up on the site anymore. I kind of lost track, and then we went on vacation and so forth or whatever. But regardless of any of that kind of stuff, these, you know, if they're not already up on the site, they will be shortly. And you can find all of these, including our flip plate set, and our plunger, and the bath bomb drying tray for your round spheres. All of those, everything here can be found up on soap-chef.com. We truly appreciate each and every one of you that support our tiny little small family-run business. It means the world to us. It really does that you guys are supportive of our business. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Again, that's going to do it for today's video, you guys. I have to get rolling. So take care of yourselves, okay? Be kind and stay humble, and we will get back together very shortly, I promise, okay? Ciao.